All right. Well, it's our pleasure here on InsideOwasso.com to have Dee Sokolosky. He is, of course, the president and CEO of First Bank of Owasso, and he has been a very busy person this week as, of course, payroll protection loans have been unveiled as part of the government response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Dee, thanks for being with us today.
It's always great to be with you, my friend.
Well, I know that, first of all, this has been almost a record week. I saw you say on social media, or for the First Bank account, say on social media earlier this week, that you did as many loans in a week almost as you could in a year, maybe 9 months worth of them.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming, Grant. Our bank will normally close about 400 loans a year. And from one Friday at 5 o'clock to the next Friday at 5 o'clock, we processed 312. So literally over 9 months worth of loans in 5 business days. And so we've got them out, got people their money. And now we're starting to look at some folks whose bank doesn't do them or isn't helping them. And so we're working on some churches from out of state that their banks couldn't help them. And then some local businesses here that bank with some of our friends down the road that aren't doing these SBA loans, so we're helping them out as well.
Well, I know kind of watching social media and seeing the discussion about these loans, there's kind of been maybe some misinformation that you have to apply through the SBA website, you have to apply here, have to apply there. But the truth be told, this is something that a relationship with a local community bank has really been able for a lot of clients to help speed up the process.
You are absolutely right. What Congress did was basically turn every financial institution in the United States into a certified SBA lender. We were already one, which was an advantage because we're familiar with the forms, we're familiar with the process, a step ahead, but you do have to apply with a bank. And that's what's held up a lot of people that have either their bank isn't doing it, and in Oklahoma, only about a third of the banks were already certified lenders. So 2/3 of the banks are either having to get up to speed on something they weren't particularly familiar with, or they've just chosen not to do it at all. And then on the other side, if you're a big bank, you want to do everything through a portal. And so people are going online and applying and thinking they have something when actually once that application gets to the bank, whether it's through a portal or you drive through our drive-in and hand it to me, some banker has to physically review that information, certify to the SBA that the documentation you have provided supports the numbers on your application. Then we have to physically go to a computer terminal and upload about 10 fields of information to the SBA portal. And it's sometimes some odd stuff that isn't even on your application. Like they require a 9-digit zip code. We didn't think to ask our customers on the form, hey, be sure to give us 9 digits, so we got 5. So somebody is a full-time zip code operator over here going on to get 9-digit zip codes for all of our clients. Then you have to include an industry code. Well, for half of ours as churches, it's pretty easy. For the other half, you got a restaurant code, you got a manufacturing code, you've got a funeral home code, whatever. Then once you upload that to the SBA, you get an authorization, an SBA loan number. Then that's when your bank can actually begin to prepare a loan form, get it out to you to sign, get it back, and then fund the money. So, it's kind of billed as a one-step, no collateral, no guarantee, hand in your application and get your money. And if you were the only one in the whole bank, I guess that might be physically possible, but it does take a series of steps. And on average, it was taking us 2 to 3 days from actual day of application to getting the money out the door. But that's been incredibly quick compared to what the rest of the world's doing.
Now, I know you've got the first round out and you've kind of got the first few of these issued, the first, I guess, 312 at least. And a lot of people wondering, and there's a lot of information, misinformation going out around. Do you anticipate the SBA having enough money to continue to do these through the next couple of weeks?
That is an excellent question. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin announced last night that they had already authorized 220 billion of the 349. And the way this works, once you get your authorization from the SBA, you're in. your lender still has up to 10 days to get the documents ready and all that, but you can't lose your money because your bank's slow once you're in. But our concern is for the first 3 or 4 days, there weren't very many big banks actually submitting them to the SBA yet. Well, now that they have kind of caught up, I think it's going to go pretty quickly. And we've been reaching out to some of our clients that haven't applied yet and say, you know, it's conceivable by Friday or Monday that the money could be gone. They're already in discussions. Speaker McConnell, Senator Rubio, that's important on the banking committee. They're looking at talking about authorizing another $200 billion, but it's your typical political sausage making. One side wants something thrown in, the other side wants something else, and they're not coming to agreement. So I would think, since independent contractors couldn't even apply till Friday starting, they're going to come up with a solution for more money. It would be grossly unfair if the only people that got money were the people whose bank happened to be ready to do it and got them in the window. And that just strikes me as unfair, and I think they'll come to a resolution. But for now, to be safe, get your application in.
Do you anticipate the possibility of additional rounds of funding for businesses who have already applied if this thing continues? Do you see payroll protection maybe lasting as long as businesses shut down?
I'm going to take a guess and say no. I think once you get to piling on $3 trillion of debt onto what we already have that we can't pay for, at some point in time, somebody's going to say enough's enough. But and that's a real key on when COVID's going to peak and when we can all get back to work and open in restaurants. And my barber, you and I both need a haircut. Yeah, I didn't get one right before the shutdown. Now I'm in trouble. But I would not bet on, I would bet on another round of some stimulus relief, but I'm going to bet it's kind of like the old WPA program. It's going to be investing in infrastructure. Let's put people to work building things we really need, roads and bridges and airports and whatever. But I'll be a little surprised if there's another round of free money for businesses.
Anything that we've missed, anything that you can think of that your customers or even people who aren't your customers might need to know if they're having trouble with their bank, getting a hold of somebody, what can they do with First Bank and how can you be of assistance to them?
We have 2 pieces of information on our website, Grant. One is just a general COVID resources that will take you to a link where you can actually contact us and have somebody contact you and walk you through the application. And then we have another section that's just for churches where we'll reach out to churches and walk them through the app the same. The money's the same, the filling out the form's a little bit different for a nonprofit. The thing I would share with your viewers today, Grant, that hadn't got a lot of press, the attention has all been on small business, church, and ministry. You know, everything we put out is small business, church, and ministry. Well, now we're at the point that the law will allow us to accept independent contractors, sole proprietors, self-employed. So all of our realtors that get 1099s that are not employees, all of our stylists, our nail techs, our massage therapists, I own my own painting company or whatever, those people need to come in and apply because you don't have to have employees. If you're a corporation or a church or an LLC, you have to have payroll. But if you're an independent, self-employed, it's just based on your earnings. And there's a real opportunity out there for all of our folks that are self-employed that you don't read about a lot in the press.
All right. Well, Dee, thank you for being with us. Appreciate you and all you do for our community. And we'll be sure and be in touch during this pandemic about all things financial.
All right. Good talking to you, Grant.